Adam Carolla returns to New York City. Thursday, October 9th at Rodney Dangerfield's Comedy Club with Kat Timpf and Matt Friend. 2 shows, October 9th. And then don't miss the Ace Man in Pottstown, Pennsylvania on Friday, October 10th and Saturday, October 11th at Soul Joel's. Adam returns to Flappers in Burbank on October 29th. Get tickets for these and every show at adamcarolla.com. A man who talks like a mule kicks. Adam Carolla.
Yeah, get it on. Got to get it on. The choice we're going to mandate you get it on. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for telling a friend. Love that about you. Chad Daniels back in the studio. Chad's got dates. Comedy dates. September 26th, 27th. American Comedy Co. out in San Diego. Oh, that's a cool club. And Zanies, another good club. That's in Chicago. I think I was just there. Got to figure that one out. Dates all over the place, Madison. Website, chaddaniels.com is where you go. If you don't know Chad, he's got a very funny special. Is that a Netflix special? I'm trying to think where I saw your last special.
Yeah, Empty Nester was on Netflix.
Yeah, filmed in Minnesota.
Uh-huh.
Cool, and strong stand-up and funny special. So you guys can check that out and go see him in person. Good to see you again, Chad.
Yeah, likewise.
So in Minnesota, from Minnesota, right?
Yep. Never left.
Never left. I like Minnesota. Minnesota's a weird place to me because it's getting real progressive, but as a kid, it was always just Bud Grant and Paul Bunyan and ice fishing. And Minnesota, the Hollywood version of Minnesota was not whatever the version of Minnesota is today.
Yeah, it's progressive in areas.
So it's like it's real rural in some spots and real progressive in other spots.
I lived in Fergus Falls, which is up closer to Fargo, North Dakota. And I have a little lake cabin about 40 minutes from there in kind of the middle of Minnesota. And when COVID happened, I mean, it was a place where you could go and not know about it.
Right.
Grocery stores, everything was stocked, no masks, all this stuff. And then you'd go to like Minneapolis to the airport and it was a completely different place. But I think that's how it is everywhere, right? Big cities, blue.
Yeah. No, it is. We, from L.A., we don't have a lot of time for nuance for other places. So we just go Minnesota.
Sure.
There's Paul Bunyan. He's got his ox named Blue. And there's Bud Grant and Fran Tarkington. And that's all, and ice fishing and Utter Bomb. And that's all I got time for. And then you see Ilhan Omar and you go, what? No, that's not what I'm thinking. I'm thinking something else.
Or you see Prince dancing.
Yeah,
and you go, that's not from there.
No,
that's not polka.
No, but I've always thought, it's weird when you, like when I grew up out here, so I don't know anything about any place. Like if you would have told me when I was in high school Cleveland was in Ohio, I'd go, get the fuck out of here. That's Buckeye State, man. They got a lot of farming and corn-fed folk out there. It's not Cleveland.
They don't start rivers on fire in Ohio.
That's not Cleveland. Yeah, so, but we're very, and I guess I guess we're having to change our thoughts because in California, you just assume nothing else really exists, and everyone is sort of trying to come here, is kind of the thought. So you go, why should I think? I guess growing up in California and in L.A. is like being a permanent senior in high school. And it's like, have you seen the 9th grade class? Like, who cares? I'm fucking senior. I'm like big man on a Letterman jacket guy. What do I care?
Yeah.
I don't know these kids.
There's been a couple places I've been, though, like Phoenix and Austin, and the comedy there, all they talk about is how Californians, there's this huge exodus.
Oh, yeah. No, we're funny because we're like, I would describe California as a hot blonde who turned 50 and never had to study, always had a date, always to bell the ball, invited to every party. And then at some point, there's like crow's feet and a little gray hair, and you put on a couple pounds, but you still kind of think you're that person.
But now you're bartending for fun?
Well, from doing your shows and being an attractive male that there's the formerly hot chick syndrome where it's like the chick's up front. She's like 56 now, but when she has a couple of cocktails, she thinks she's back in her bikini prime. You know, she thinks she's in Cancun on spring break or something. And she is kind of approaching you after a couple of cocktails like she is that 19-year-old. Mm-hmm. But the only version you know is the drunk 57-year-old.
Yep.
And you're not into it. but a few drinks brings her back to 19 and also sort of thinks you should know what her pedigree is.
And she should get hooked up with the 57-year-old man that still, when he sees a football at a tailgate, he goes, kid, throw it over here. And he's going to think he's going to throw it over a mountain like Uncle Rico.
Right. But she thinks you're into her because she knows who she is at noon on a Tuesday when she's sober. But this is Saturday night and she's drinking. Yeah. And now she's the loudest in the club. By far the loudest are the formerly hot chicks.
I will agree with that. If you have had drinks bought for you your whole life,
yes,
they never tell you it's going to end.
No, and you've never heard this phrase in your whole life. Hey, honey, shut up. We're talking over here.
Yeah,
because it's always been, oh yeah, what else? I mean, you have to think about. You know, if you're Mark Twain, people are going to hang on every word. But if you're a hot blonde at 22, they'll hang harder than Mark Twain. They're like, Mark, shut up. She's talking. Yeah. And she goes, you know how sometimes your cat thinks it's a person? You know, and you're like, shut up, Mark. I want to hear what she has to say. So your whole life, people have been fake listening to you because they want to fuck you, you know? So they're always, like, you ever talk to hot blondes? Like, I used to have a hot blonde neighbor, real hot, like, you know, she was like 26. And she was like, would always tell me how nice everyone was, you know? Like, she'd go, my gardener, he baked me a pie. I go, yeah, that's not, gardeners don't do that. No, they do. They do for you. And she was telling me one time she couldn't get on the plane because they pulled the gate or whatever, they closed the door, but the pilot... commercial, like saw her through the glass, you know, when they pull right up to the thing, and the pilot was like, yeah, let me go get that door. And I was like, that's your version of life.
Right.
But you don't know ugly version or dude version.
Yeah. When I was in high school, I had good-looking friends. And so we'd be out. The good-looking friends would attract the women to the table, and then I was the funny friend, so I would keep their attention and make them laugh, and they'd still go home and fuck my good-looking friends.
Yeah, I had a good-looking friend who was sort of with a dude. There's good-looking, and then there's something that transcends good-looking, where it's just a magnetism. Like everyone loved it. All the chicks, all the time. Like. He would do stuff like go to a strip club, go to amateur night where the amateurs were dancing. Whoever won on amateur night, take her home and bang her. Like that's just walk into any strip club. Well, magnetism.
Okay.
I mean, good looking meets some sort of pheromone or something.
Sure.
Like we're just shits. Like good looking is good. Like that'll get you laid. But good looking isn't like, you know, when you're 16, you're banging the mom and the daughter in your apartment building. You know what I mean? Like the mom and the teenage daughter. Like when you're 16, like that's not just good looking.
Right.
There's something else going on. But anyway, I remember we were best friends. So like we'd go out for breakfast and the waitress would come by. At some point, she'd like look at him and go, "You want a refill on that coffee?" And he'd go, "Yeah, I'll take a refill." And he'd say, "Is that good? You want a little more? Some room for cream or something?" Go, "No, it's fine." And then she'd leave. And I'd be sitting there with an empty coffee mug going, "What? Oh, I know what just happened. She got sucked up in his tractor beam."
Yeah, the pheromones went Men in Black.
Right, right. Or Ocean's 13 or whatever the one where they...
Oh, yeah, Matt Damon has that scent.
This is the problem with me if I was on the set of almost any movie. I'd go, if there's such a thing as a scent that makes a guy with a huge nose irresistible to a hot blonde, we can pack up this operation right now because you understand we're going to make billions with what's in this vial here.
Yeah.
If this is ours, we're going to sell this to Upjohn for $300 billion. We don't need to rob a vault. We got this magic spray.
Also, make this movie because movies are done.
Right.
Because no one's going to the movie again. They're just all out fucking.
That's right.
So I was going to tell you this hot blonde scenario, right? She gets older.
Yeah.
So,
That's California. Sort of coasting, like kind of going, come on, we got the beach and we got the mountains, and people are going, we're going to Utah.
yeah.
And we're going, why do you want to go with that hag? Look at us. And it's like, yeah, I'm looking at you 25 years ago, but that's not what we're looking at now.
And I play a game in the summer. It's called the noun game, where you put all these nouns into a bowl, and there's 3 rounds. The first round, you pull it out, and you can say as many words as you want and as many actions as you want. Then when that's done, you put all the words back in, and now you get 3 words and all the actions you want. And then the last round, it's only actions, no words. And so if you don't do something to let people know what the action for the word is, you're fucked in the 3rd round.
Right.
And I think that's what happens to good-looking people when they're young. They don't know that they also need to be building a personality.
Yes.
And so they get to this point where they go, I've been coasting on my looks, like you said, and they're like, well, how much I'm not getting attention now? And it's because they didn't spend their 20s and 30s actually becoming a decent person.
Yeah, and
I mean, some, but you know what I'm saying.
yeah, there is a thing of a kind of a unintended consequence kind of thing. Like, I never learned to read, and so I never read any books, and so I never really ingested other people's ideas. I was always coming up with my own ideas, but it's because I couldn't read, essentially. But then it went from a kind of liability to a plus, because then I was able to come up with a lot of ideas and used to coming up with my own ideas. And then people would go, you got to read this. This guy's brilliant. You should hear all his ideas. And I'd be like, I don't know how to read, but I got to come up with my own ideas. And so there are things that, start off as sort of liabilities and then end up paying off a little more, like down the road.
Yeah,
there's a lot of that there's a lot of that. There's a lot of like weird. I spoke to an athlete once. It was a guy trying out for the Raiders, or he was on the Raiders. He picked up the ball. He was I'll think of his name in a second, but he played in the NFL for 10 years. But I was fucking around with him. Speaking of Uncle Rico, he picked up a football and with his right hand just threw like rocket, 40 yards, and then he put the ball in his left hand. And he threw a fucking rocket like 40 yards. And by the way, when he got to the NFL, he played wide receiver. He didn't even play quarterback, but that's how good they were. But I said, who the hell can throw with both hands that way? And he goes, oh, man, of course, in high school, these guys all played quarterback because they're the best athletes on the team. Yep. He goes, when I was in a junior year, I broke my arm, my right arm, so I had to learn how to throw with my... It sounds bad, but now we can throw with both arms is my point. Something bad, something good came out
like
of it.
That Malcolm Gladwell book, David and Goliath.
I haven't read it.
It's basically
it's previously stated.
It's exactly what you're saying, where it starts off as a problem and ends up being this thing. Like the doctor that cured children's leukemia or whatever it was, he was able to do that because he was severely autistic and didn't care that parents were crying and shit like that.
Yeah.
So he'd go out and be like, hey, I'm going to have to do this experiment on your kid. And they're weeping, begging me not to. He goes, no, we have to do it.
Right.
And so that becomes.
Right. Yeah. If God, I'm trying to think of Jerry. It wasn't Jerry Rice. It was the other Jerry. And I think he played for the Raiders like 20 years ago. Dawson will see it when he knows it, Parker. Maybe it was Jerry Parker. I think it was Jerry Parker. Something like that. Okay. If John Popper, a blues traveler, was skinny and good looking, then we wouldn't have a virtuoso harmonica player.
Exactly.
The good-looking skinny guys pretend to play harmonicas in the movie, but they can't do what John Popper does.
Yeah, that's a good example.
He had a lot of downtime as a youth. As a big fat kid riding a moped.
What'd you do on Friday? I played the harmonica.
For 14 hours.
Yeah, exactly.
That's right. Then I beat off, and then I played more harmonica. And that was Friday night for John Popper, who I love dearly. But he was a fat kid on a moped when he was in high school.
Sure.
And that meant a lot of, Jerry Porter, right. That meant a lot of harmonica practice time. Yeah. Yeah, the thing about Jerry Porter is he was a more gifted athlete than Jerry Rice, but he didn't have the work ethic that Jerry Rice had.
Sure.
And that was sort of the tale of two Jerrys. You had one who was a more gifted. You think, well, how do you get more gifted? He was more gifted physically. Faster, bigger, stronger, bigger hands, like a crazed athlete. Could also do a thing that nobody, I go nuts on it, no one else cares, but you try it. He was such a crazed athlete, Jerry Porter, at 6'2", 6'3", 225 or something, like a 4'40" kind of guy. We've done it before. He would get knocked down in a football game, and if he was on his back, he would hold the ball with both hands out his chest, and he would get up. He would get up by kicking his 2 feet next to him. His heels would be next to his hips, and then he would rise. And full pads, helmet, shoulder pads, fourth quarter, that's how he got up. Boom. And you watch it, and you go, that seems weird. And then I go, lay on the ground, put your heels, try to pull your heels next to your hips, and now just set up. You cannot touch the ground. You can't put your hands anywhere. Put your hands on your chest and stand up.
On his back.
Off of his back.
Yeah, so when you're on your back, you kick your feet up.
You can find a clip of it.
It's unbelievable.
You watch Jerry Porter getting up at full pads. I mean, by the way, now I'm putting a helmet and shoulder pads on you, I'm adding extra 15 pounds to the end.
Especially then. Yeah.
Pow, right up.
No chance.
Crazed. I don't think no one said anything or saw it. I just would watch it and go, did you see that? And everybody like, hey, just got up. I go, no. He made it look easy. He's not a Chinese acrobat. He's a big dude.
Right.
But anyway.
It's like when a snake detaches their jaw to eat something bigger. It doesn't even make sense.
Right. It is funny when snakes are like, I'm going to eat that full-size deer. And you're like, your mouth is 4.5 inches wide and his ass is 14 inches across. You're like, I'm going for it.
Huh?
The most confident creature in the world is the snake,
They have
right?
to be.
The snake has to be, because the snake's like, I'm going to go eat that alligator. And it's like, that alligator's twice as big as you. I'm going to eat it. Like, it is nuts. And they do it. Yeah. I mean, they are the most confident.
And then they look like the alligator for a while.
That's right.
Until their body starts breaking it down. It's insane.
It is insane. I don't know. We should be more respectful of snakes. You know what I mean? First things they do is they have no legs and they move at a good clip.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know any humans with no legs. I mean, maybe that Pistorius guy or something. But I mean, there's a few.
He had spatula legs.
Yes, he did. Yeah, he had spatula legs. You know, it's kind of funny. Sometimes you'll see somebody with the prosthetic legs and they'll go, they beat an able-bodied guy, and you'll go, yeah, because maybe they have an advantage. Like fucking Steve Austin would whoop up on any able-bodied guy. He had machinery in there.
So I have a hip replacement.
Oh, you did?
And I got it young, and they said if you can only have one more, and then you got to really take care of it.
On that side.
On that side, because there's not enough bone. And you see some of these guys running with that spatula leg, and you go, yeah, I could do that. By the time I need that, it's going to be even better.
Hip replacement at what age?
It probably was 42.
Mm-hmm. Just a genetic thing? Or?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
And I ran a lot, and I run like a Clydesdale. I ran a lot in my 20s. You could hear me coming from a long ways.
Like for exercise.
Clip, yeah.
All right, theory. I got a theory. There's loud walkers and there's soft walkers. Like there's quiet walkers. And people think it's about weight or heft or size or foot or arches or something. I think it's an attitude. 'Cause I've started to keep track. I have twins, son, daughter, twins. My son is 200 pounds and my daughter's, 125 pounds, but you can hear my daughter coming. But also, my son you'll never hear. But also, once they're in the room, you'll hear them. And her voice is her walk. I mean, she's large and in charge, you know what I mean? And he's got opinions, and you're going to know what those opinions are. My son's a lot of like, my son's the kind of guy where if you woke him up, he says sorry to you. You know what I mean? Like you'd come in, like sometimes I'd like, come in his room and go, where's my back? And he's sleeping. I think he stayed home sick from school. I thought he was at school. So I went in his room at 10 in the morning, was looking for something, and I woke him up. And then he's the kind of guy who wakes up and goes, I go, I didn't know you're sleeping. He'll go, sorry, and go back. And my daughter would start screaming, get out of a room or whatever.
Yeah.
Right. But when you walk, you can hear it in how they walk. All right, hold on. I'll let you noodle on that for a second. We got Jerry Porter getting up in a snow game with the Raiders. And again, it'll happen fast. And when it happens, you'll kind of go like, oh, okay, is that a real thing? Or what happened there? Both. Okay, now he made it look easy and it happened fast, but show it again. He's on his back.
Okay, okay.
He's got both hands on his chest. He throws his feet under him and steps up in full pads in the snow.
Yeah, he brings his feet back and does a sit-up at the same time.
And I'm saying, I tell everyone, you try it.
There's no way.
You'll be on the ground. You'll be eaten by wolves because you won't be able to get up. Or eventually you'll probably just get up. But it is, and he's full pads in his fourth quarter. And he's a big dude, or third quarter. So.
Good Lord, that's athletic.
Crazy athlete and crazy fast. All right, so loud walkers, what do you think?
Well, my girlfriend is winter is coming in Minnesota. And that scares me because when she has boots on, I don't know if they're too big for her, but it is a fucking nightmare to go to the grocery store, Target, because it's just thump, 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 thump.
Right.
And I called her on it, and I was like, hey, is there any chance like you could pick your feet up or something? Because everyone's looking at us.
Right.
And she goes, I don't do that. And then I go, maybe it's just in boots. And then I was talking to my mom on the phone, and my girlfriend was walking across the hallway, and my mom goes, just on the phone, she goes, oh, Kelsey's home.
Right.
So it's without shoes and everything. But she's not a big throw my opinion out when she gets in the room. I think she just wants people to know she's coming to the room.
Select quote. All right, time for some life talk. Life insurance talk, that is. You probably already have some kind of policy, but do you know how much you're paying or what you're really covered for? Odds are you're paying too much for too little coverage. And here's the scary part. If your policy is only through work and you get laid off, congratulations. You might be suddenly at zero coverage. That's a bad surprise to leave behind. Yeah, you don't want to do that for your loved ones. Now, buying life insurance is kind of like a parachute. If you don't have it when you really need it, there are no second chances. That's why I'm using Select Quote. They make it simple. Select Quote's been doing this for over 40 years. They've helped 2 million plus Americans secure over $700 billion in coverage. It's Select Quote, right, Dawson?
Get the right life insurance for you for less and save more than 50% at SelectQuote.com/Carolla. Save more than 50% on term life insurance at SelectQuote.com/Carolla today to get started. That's SelectQuote.com/Carolla.
I started to sync it up with the personality, and I was trying to affect some change. Like I was trying to get them to walk quieter.
Yeah.
And then I realized, oh no, I like it. I mean, it's good. It gives you a heads up.
Yeah, I understand.
It's good. Not at the supermarket, but at home.
Yeah, at
They're
home,
coming down the hall.
I'm a big pick your feet up in public person.
I realized that I walk in an attempt not to stir anybody around me. I try to slip out of rooms and sort of
Are you on
quietly,
tiptoes?
whatever. What I have realized is that my walking is connected to my emotional state. And my default setting is trying to like I'll put it to you. All right, here's an interesting test for everybody. Everyone can sort of play this at home. How are you when other people are sleeping?
Very quiet.
And you've got to get up and get out, right? And there's an interesting thing, for instance. My bedroom door has a lock on it, which would be a privacy lock. So there's deadbolts, that's like front door, and then there's passage knobs, which is just hallway, and then there's bathroom, privacy, push the button in. Now it's got a handle, and you push the button in. I tend to lock it at night. And it's a habit I've always been in, which is like I read way too many stories of like the woman wakes up and the guy's standing at the foot of the bed with the machete. I'm like, just put a privacy lock on your bedroom door, and or the kids barged in when you were getting a blowjob or something like that. Just
playing harmonica, beating off.
That's right. Just your thumb, you just lock it.
Yeah.
It's no, and people kind of go like, why are you locking your bedroom? I don't know. Could it hurt? Like, couldn't hurt. Maybe someone breaks in and you, they're downstairs. The door's locked. Good. I'll call the cops or whatever.
And why are you asking about me locking my door? What were your plans?
Good point.
Yeah, thanks.
So I realize that when I get up in the morning and the door's locked and my girlfriend's asleep, I put my thumb on the button, because if you just turn the handle, it goes pop.
Yep.
Put your thumb on it and turn it slowly. It'll go into your thumb and you can quietly kind of release it, It's door handle awareness, like bathroom door, like lots of clicking and latching and stuff, turning and whatever. So that's how you are.
Yeah.
And then there's other people who have zero, they just get up and they just start, they check stuff on their phone and they shut the door. Like, you'll hear the door like ka-chunk and you're like, are you angrily shutting the bathroom door? You just shut it. Like, why wouldn't you?
We have double doors. And so when I come to bed late or get up early, I will, like when I'm shutting the door, I'll put my fingers, half my hand on one of the doors.
Yes.
So I know when the second one's getting there.
Right.
And I can gently, like docking like the space station.
We would make a fantastic gay couple.
I think so, too.
You and I. First off, I would just sleep. Yeah. I would do nothing but sleep. Where's Chad? God, I don't know. What time? It's 2 p.m. Geez, he had a 6 a.m. flight. I didn't even know he was gone.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm like a fucking ninja getting out of there.
Ninja fucking sliding out of
And
there.
then
like
my
smoke.
girlfriend takes a full swing at it. Just lets the other door catch the first door, and they both rattle. It's unbelievable.
But what is that thing? Because it's not that she's bad and you're good per se. But there's some.
I know what it is.
You know where it manifests itself?
I know exactly what it is.
Oh, tell me.
It's she wants to spend time with me in the morning before we get going.
Oh, this is deliberate.
And I need a little time before my morning starts just by myself. Cup of coffee, petting the dog, looking outside at the sun.
Yeah. Because I think women, while they are more nurturing, have a blind spot in their game, such as the door closing, the ka-chunk and the bang. And like, I'll just say, like, sometimes I'll go, are you just like trying to wake me up? Like, what is going on? Oh, I was just checking my phone. It's like, yeah, but it's on 10. It's as loud as you can. Well, I don't know. It was loud. I'll tell you where it manifests itself. With women more than men, and this is a real window, parking. There will park, like women will park in the driveway and not leave room on one side or the other. Like, you'll go, you got to move to the side so I can, and they'll go, yeah, I wasn't thinking about it or something, which they're not. I'll have people sort of park and not pull up so you can't get in,
Right.
They don't leave room and stuff like that. And it seems more prevalent with women than men. I feel maybe it's a spatial thing.
Yeah,
but
maybe they don't want to park too close to the wall.
It's a kind of, I find it where I just go, look, if you're going to sort of park in the middle, I can't park to the right or the left. And they go, oh, okay. But like for me, acutely aware, like no way, just if they were out and coming home, it'd be like, well, where are they going to park?
Yeah, I was at a grocery store and a woman pulled up to drop somebody off and then just kept her car there. And it was right in front of the doors and I was already in the crosswalk. And then all my friends got pissed off at me because I kept walking into her car like someone had dropped a remote at a video game. I just kept walking and backing up. And she's like, what the fuck are you doing? I go, well, what are you parked here for?
Yeah.
So I don't know what that is. I'm sure guys do it. I mean, you want to talk about my issues. Can you back up a trailer?
No.
Oh my God, I would rather pull it into a parking spot, take the trailer off, and walk it down into the water to get my shit out of there.
It is a sad. I am not proud to say that a guy in me who owns a dually with like a full tow package on it, and you passed a race trailer on your way into this building, and I'm the owner of multiple trailers and have hauling trucks and everything, couldn't back up 4 fucking feet without fucking it up.
No chance.
I become like Tom Cruise dyslexic when I start turning the wheel. I whatever my impulse is about turning the wheel, it starts doing the opposite of what I want every single time.
It's like giving your haircut in the mirror, giving yourself a haircut in the mirror.
Yes, but I work with guys who can do it. No one in this building, but I'd be like work with dudes who do it. It's an interesting concept because you would say back the trailer up into the water, and I would say back it up on the racetrack. You know, it's because I'm from here and you're from there. But I can't back it up 5 feet, and I'm embarrassed by that as a dude with tools, as a dude with race cars, as a dude who drives the race cars and fixes the race cars. Can't go an inch with the stupid trailer.
If there's a line at the public access, I'm doing my shit tomorrow. There's no way I'm going to have other men watch me try to back this trailer.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, at one point, I would rather just throw the keys to somebody and go, hey, you want to do this?
Right.
I'll give you $20.
Right. Weird. But I wonder how that manifests itself, like in what other facets of life that manifests itself.
Yeah, because I don't really panic much. I'm not a panicky guy.
Right.
But in that situation, I cannot stand it. And I don't know if it's a feeling of, I don't think the other guys are going to judge. You know, they're going to laugh, but
it's hard to miss.
Yeah.
I mean, and there's no really getting around it. You don't know how to back up a trailer.
Right.
There's just no other excuse. No one goes, well, he's probably getting a blowjob from a super hot chick and he's distracted. They just go, that fucking guy doesn't know how to back up a trailer.
Of course, yeah. And my daughter's in the car and she goes, want me to get out of the car and help back? I go, get in the fucking car. We're leaving. I just pull right out.
All right, let's see. Other stuff. I had this thought today. I was watching, I don't know why someone tweeted me a drag queen, but the guy was dancing. And it was like, what the hell's going on here? Whatever. It was like a middle-aged guy dancing. And I was in like lip syncing and stuff. And I thought to myself, I can never figure out the attraction, like the parts of life that I'm not gay or lesbian or transsexual or something, cross-dressed, whatever. I can't figure it out, but I don't really care about it. But the drag queen on display feels very counterintuitive to me because it feels like a lot of work. And first off, the makeup and the hair, everything feels like way too much work for me. But I'll show you this, and then I just had this thought, and I don't know if it makes sense or not, but it's a person dancing. I guess we have it. We could hit play, maybe. I don't know where they are.
They look like they're in church pews. I have a
be,
feeling they're not.
Oh, it could be like city council type. It looks official. It looks like it could be a city council meeting, or it could be it could be a school setting. I don't know. People look old. There's a poor 70-year-old guy in the front row. This is a blue-haired, blue sequence unitard, kind of middle-aged, heavy set guy, just lip syncing and dancing. All right, I don't know where this is, but that's not my commentary. But although I would be curious where it is, but also, here's my thing without sounding like an uptight old dude. I can watch somebody juggle and go, well, I can't do shit. That's fun.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I can't do that. Once in a while, halftime of the NBA game, and you got the Chinese chick on the extended unicycle, and she's kicking bowls up.
Red Panda,
and it's landing on her head. And you go, well, someone could go, well, you like that, but what about someone who likes this? Well, fucking anyone can do this. Anybody. Everyone is like 4 tall boys away and a good dare from this. You know what I mean? Like the Red Panda thing, I would argue that's not my form of entertainment. That is entertainment. Entertainment, by nature, really is shit you can't do.
Right.
Like when you watch a comedian and the guy's like, you're funnier than that guy is. You know what I mean? So then you sit there and you go, it's okay, But when you watch a comedian and you think that guy's funnier than me, you go, that guy's really fucking good, right? And most people enjoy comedy because they go, I could never go up there, alone and do it. And so you got that working for you when you do it. But if somebody's doing a form of entertainment that anyone could do, then it's not entertaining.
Now, I don't think I could DJ. I'm going to say that right now. I don't think I could DJ, but I do think it is a similar situation, drag shows and DJing. I'll tell you why, because I went to, I don't know, Alabama Shores or something like that for a big DJ fest. And I thought it was going to suck because they're just playing other people's music.
You went there to perform?
No, I just went there to be in the crowd, and I thought, like, I don't know if I'm going to like this. I went to
somebody dragged you there.
Yeah. And I went to a drag show.
Well, you act like you went.
Well, sure.
You were, you were dragged.
I was chasing.
Well, maybe they call it drag show because you have to drag the audience in. I never thought about that.
But I felt in both situations, I felt like it wasn't what I was watching. It was the energy of the crowd. That got me right into it both times. I will tell you, at that drag show, I was fucking into it. And I think I was into it because it's like, it's music, it's popular music, and then the crowd is really, really...
Well, I guess there's good drag shows and there's amateur hour drag shows.
Sure.
Now, this feels more like amateur hour to me.
I would say that too, yeah.
But I started to realize as I was trying to dive. Do we know where this is from? I was trying to dive into the dynamic of it.
Yeah, like there's words up on the screen. I couldn't see what they said, but
so I'm watching this thing, and it's a middle-aged guy, heavy, thick, and sort
high
of
school linebacker,
clumsily, or junior JC if it's a smaller school, clumsily moving through a dance routine and lip syncing, and then I was like, well, what motivates this person? I get what motivates Red Panda. No one else can do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I get what motivates a stand-up or violinist, but what about this? And then I thought to myself, wait a minute. When I was a kid, and I would say all kids, maybe especially girls, but maybe all kids, the first thing you do is you lip sync. Like that is your first expression of entertainment. Like I could remember, lips that you learn the words to a song when you're 6 and you hold up a brush.
Yeah.
And then sometimes you put a costume on. And then that is like very early. And then at some point you sort of grow out of it. And maybe you get into prank calls or something like that, like later on. Or you get in a rock band or whatever. You learn to play an instrument or something. But at the beginning, kids lip sync, like dance, lip sync, outfit. When your daughter wanted to entertain you when she was 6, she'd put a wig or hat on or something, grab a brush and do a Taylor Swift song, that. And then I realized maybe that's what this is. Maybe it's that early impulse that just kind of got locked in and carried on. Like sometimes guys get it with their sexuality. Like the guys with the foot fetishes will go like, when I was little, I used to look at my mom's feet in the kitchen, and she was feeding me, and I just stare at her feet, and she made me a great sandwich, and now I'm 45 and I'm in.
Yeah.
Like I'm locked in.
Or maybe it's the opposite. Maybe they weren't allowed to express themselves that way in their house. And so like a child star, you know, how they actually, Michael Jackson turned out to be a kid as an adult. And, or like for me, shoes. My parents couldn't afford the Jordans and shit like that. So now I have a problem with that.
Yeah.
I have shoes that I've never worn, and that's unacceptable.
Yeah, I had the same thing. Like, I always wanted tools, and we never had a garage. We never had any tools, so now I kill prostitutes.
Oh, okay. I didn't know
I
that.
thought I was going to say something about buying tools, but it scrambled me. So
Sure. Well,
we're both equally
You
scrambled.
have a garage to bury them. That's
The
nice.
sign in the back is in German. It's no smoking in German. So evidently, this is German. The legs do look. I mean, this is they seem like a stouter people over there. So maybe, but this may be from Germany. And I don't know what's on the sign behind them, but is that things written in German? I guess would be
bullet points.
It would be it. Yeah. So, all right. What else did I want to get into? It was oh, I never. Let's see. Let's see what I wrote down. Oh, here's something that I thought was interesting that somebody, Mike August, a guy I work with, brought up. I had never heard anyone bring up this angle, and I thought this is kind of interesting, which was the whole kerfuffle with Jimmy and Nexstar and Sinclair and affiliates, and did they drop him and then ABC, or did the FCC get involved? They put their finger on the scale. Did Trump tell the FCC? And so there's lots of, there's three arguments basically. There's Trump told those people to do it, the FCC, and then there's Trump didn't tell them to do it, but they know which way the wind is blowing, and they want to do a big merger, so they're going to sort of preemptively do it. And then there's Trump did nothing, and they did nothing. The Sinclair guys and the Nexstar guys are conservative guys. They didn't like all the Trump bashing, and so they just dropped. And once the affiliates drop, there's trouble.
Sure.
And they're all sort of plausible. I mean, Trump's not going to leave a paper trail of going, I called or I sent an email or whatever. I don't think Trump did it. But the second two of maybe they did it because they knew which way the wind was blowing and there was a merger coming up, and or your affiliates are legitimately conservative and they just had enough of this talk. So, yeah, and everyone's kind of going, yeah, I don't know, and it can be elements of all of two or three in there. So you never really get to the truth because it's sort of like, why'd you guys get divorced? Well, it's like there's some of this and there was a little bit of that and there was a thing.
The kids get one story, the friends get one story,
right? And then they can go, well, what about when he did this? And they go, well, that was the straw that broke the camel's back, but there was things leading into that.
Yeah.
So everything's sort of accumulation of things. But as Mike August brought up, and I don't think anyone else has brought this up that I'm aware of, Nexstar and Sinclair, the syndicators, they own tons and tons of stations. Mm-hmm. And they don't just own ABC stations. They own all stations.
Okay.
And they own a shitload of CBS stations. And CBS has a late night show host, and he talks more shit about Trump probably than Kimmel. Like, Colbert, Kimmel, I don't know. Right. But Colbert, pretty much that's his living for the last, several years. Mm-hmm. So then, and I said, well, let's check on it. So they own, Sinclair and Nexstar own 70 ABC affiliates, but they own 63 CBS with Colbert, but didn't pull the plug on Colbert, which is kind of interesting.
But didn't he get fired?
He did get fired, but he's not going off the air for many months.
Okay.
I don't know when. When is his heart out? But he has 6 or 7.
Okay.
But he's going to spend the next 6 months bashing Trump,
of course.
right? So if Sinclair was saying, look, we're not going to listen to anybody make fun of our president because we voted for him and we're conservative, then it does make sense for them to drop Colbert as well. May 2026. I mean, that's a lot of Trump bashing episodes ahead. So I don't know. I'm not sure exactly what it means, but it is interesting that they own a lot of CBS affiliates as well.
I mean, I hate to be the guest today because I don't know enough about this shit to even. It would be a guess, and I think we got enough of those.
Yeah. Well, also, I think probably maybe you kept yourself intentionally, off the grid a little bit. I mean, living where you live and living how you live. And,
yeah, I think so. It's like somebody would be like, hey, man, do you know this comedian? And I go, no disrespect, but I don't.
Yeah,
But that's only because I don't watch a ton of comedy because I don't want it to sneak into my head and then all of a sudden I'm on stage riffing something and I say something I heard or whatever it is. So, I just kind of like being away from it.
I think I was curious why you would go to the DJ concerts and why you would go to the drag queen concerts or events, shows. And I think I know what it is now.
Okay.
Nobody, and this is an exclusive audience, there's not one person who attends either one of those events who can back up a trailer. 0. Now, you go to a bass fishing competition, you're going to get shamed big time.
No question.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
You want to start hanging around with long haul truckers or guys like that. It's not going to be good for you, Chad. Mm-hmm. But you go to the drag queen show, that's your family.
You know what I've noticed there? It's just a roundabout.
Yeah.
So when they have trailers, you pull in and you just pull out straight away.
They have to.
Yeah.
If you were looking for company, like if you didn't want to be judged in your trailer backing ability, that would be a place.
I didn't even know that I had made a list in my head. This is enlightening.
You're creating safe spaces, judgment-free zones for you to go with like-minded folks who can't back up trailers.
Oh, shit, I've been doing it my whole life. People go, why don't you move to L.A. and New York? And I go, because I have to raise these kids. But really, because it's harder than hell.
Right.
So I used my kids as an excuse, stayed home, did all that, and now that's an interesting take. Where else would I go?
It's
what other groups can't back up trailers?
Well, you got 1 and 2 right there.
Yeah.
Right?
The other ones are going to be like when there's 3 and 4 on Family Feud and they each have 3.
Yeah. Maybe like a Lilith Fair type summer female. Although there are some lesbian truckers in there.
I was just going to say, I've seen Subarus back up a trailer real easily.
Yeah. Maybe not. Too high. Taylor Swift is good because I don't think the girls are going to back it up and their dads there trading bracelets with other dads. Could you imagine that? Can you imagine that pitch when you're a young kid? Hey, Dad, the Bay City Rollers are in town. Yeah? Here's what I want. I want you to go to buy all the tickets, make bracelets, come to the concert with me, and then trade bracelets with others. They'd be like, are you fucking high? I'll be in the parking lot smoking. I'm not going in that place. If you even get that. Mm-hmm. Your dad would have never gone to a Taylor Swift concert and made bracelets and swapped with other dads.
My dad might have made bracelets and sold them and told them that they were real gold.
Oh, yeah. Your dad was a kind of a grifter, right?
A little con artist-y,
Yeah. What is that? Is that why you're the quiet walker?
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I snuck into his room when he was hungover and always would steal cash out of his pockets because he didn't know how much he spent.
Oh, out of his pocket?
Yeah, and I'd go buy baseball cards with it.
Oh, so he would pass out.
Yeah, he'd just be hungover, sleeping in.
Yeah, but sleeping in his pants.
No. Pants on the floor.
Sorry,
Yeah.
pants on the floor.
Yeah.
Pants on the floor, sneaking in, and you knew he was out drinking, right?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
So he could, in his world, he could think he had $60 in there and have $20
Exactly.
in there.
There was
right?
a 10-minute window from when my mom went to work to when the bus came.
Uh-huh.
And that was when I made a lot of money.
I want to hear that story. And now, my dad didn't drink, but he didn't have cash in his pocket either. So I was at zero, but Dad wasn't drinking.
Well, I knew he was a big gambler. I mean, I had a guy, when I was in 6th grade, my dad called me downstairs and he goes, "Hey, you got to watch this video of this guy. I'm going to manage him." He was a comedian.
Hold on, Comic-Con.
Comic-Con?
Not a lot of trailer backers over there. Sorry, go ahead. Well, when you're dressed, when you're dressed like Darth Vader, you can't really
That's true.
check the rear.
Yeah.
So, comedian, Dad.
Yeah, and this guy would put a bucket on his head to close, and he did Darth Vader, bringing it back. It's like you knew what I was going to talk about. So cut to, I'm a couple years into my career, and this guy is opening for me. Mm-hmm. And I go, "Hey, man, you're not going to believe this." But when I was in 6th grade, and I didn't know how horrible this story sounded to him because he was opening for me.
Right. Yeah, because you're in 6th grade.
Yeah.
Right.
So then he didn't talk to me for a while, but at the end of the week, he goes, "Let me tell you some stories about your dad." And my dad used to, on payday, he would give people 10-to-1 odds at the bar if there were flies, and they would bet on which fly would land first.
Really?
Yeah. So I knew that there was always cash, at least a little bit in his pockets. And I knew that, a lot of times he had no clue how much it was. So I'd go in, clean him out. But he also, we stole from each other, to be fair. Like, I had a paper route saving money for a skateboard, went down to look in my lunchbox under my bed to buy my skateboard, no cash. So it was like a give and take.
Is your dad still alive?
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
Mm-mm.
But you can't be for certain?
Right. But my sister and I agreed to tell everybody he's dead because it's easier.
Is it just addiction with a guy like that, or is it a narcissism and an addiction?
No, because everybody that knew him before said he was like the greatest guy, and I think it just gets you right.
Oh,
drugs,
knew him before drugs and alcohol.
Drugs, alcohol, gambling. I mean, once you're chasing your losses and you're trying to self-medicate for that shit, it's done. You're done.
And what do you do for work?
Liquor salesman. I know.
That's right. I know.
Yeah.
So, and when's the last time you guys spoke?
I saw him when my son was 2. My son's 26 now.
Okay, so 24 years. And so he was not able to see your success as a stand-up.
Well, I don't think so. So here's why I really think he's dead, because I think he would have called me for money by now.
Yeah.
Because people don't realize when you're on TV, it's union, right?
Right.
It's like $700 to do the Tonight Show or something.
Right.
And so, but they see you on there and they go, "Oh my God,
yeah,
let's call him for money." So I think my dad would have called me.
I mean, I'll do you one worse. I get accused all the time where they go, "Oh, you're just up there on Fox doing Tucker Carlson's talking points and hammering checks," and I'm like, "You don't get paid anything." Oh, when you do those shows,
yeah, sure.
There's a union sort of, I don't know, ABC, NBC, probably licensee, FCC thing or something. There's some sort of scale union. You have to get paid, but you go on cable shows. There's no paycheck. There's no talking points, and there isn't any paycheck. So it's kind of 0 for 2. But it's funny when people follow up the first point they got wrong with the second point they get wrong, But yes, lay people see people on TV and think they get paid. Like I once got really screwed over in Canada by customs because they got hold of my itinerary, and it was this station, that station, and this station, and that show, and this show, and that show, and they're like, "You're not here for work?" And I was like, "Well, I'm not getting paid." They're worried about you getting paid. I go, "There's no pay. Look at all this. And I start thinking I spin myself. I started thinking like them. I was like, "Yeah, you know what? You're right. I should fucking get paid." But it's all radio, TV, like promotion.
Yeah.
you're not getting paid.
Right. And in Canada, it's like, this is why you don't have to pay for medical bills. Right. Come up here and do this
We
shit.
take this. So it is funny. The only person in podcasts, it's kind of interesting, but the only person that's ever said anything was Caitlyn Jenner, who, like, I'm friendly with a little bit, who wanted to come on the show, and she was like, "What's the pay?" And I'm like, "There's no pay. You just plug whatever you got to plug."
There's no pay?
Oh shit! I thought you didn't read it.
Unbelievable.
So your dad, I don't know. Is it how much trauma is involved with, like, so I didn't have good times or bad times, Dad. I just had no times, Dad.
Sure.
And you had Dad who, like I said, he was an alcoholic and he was, a grifter, but there was cash in his pocket. Like, at least you got some cash.
Exactly.
My dad didn't have any cash.
Yeah.
So it was sort of no times for me, you know? And I imagine there was times where he hit it big and came home with a Cadillac or something. I mean, is there any form of, like, we're going out tonight?
Yeah. I mean, it was that. So on Friday night, my sister and I knew if he brought crab legs home, it was going to be the best Friday. If he brought chicken chow mein in a can,
Right.
go downstairs. There's about to be an argument.
Right.
Yeah.
So crab legs meant he'd done well at the track or where have you on a
There's the bar.
parlay
Yeah.
at the bar.
Yeah.
And we're eating.
Yep.
And we're eating crab legs.
Yep.
So that's interesting. So would you rather have highs and lows or sort of flat line?
Well, this is a huge politician answer, I think, but this is the truth. I love my life so much right now that I would not change 1 second of it. Because you always see those movies where they go back and change the timeline and then they get back to where they were and it sucks.
Yeah,
I wouldn't change anything. I mean, I had a great life and yeah, I would not. The highs and lows were fun, for sure.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So you believe it's not the butterfly effect, it's the chain effect or the whatever effect or whatever. You go back and you screw with the past and now, or maybe it is the butterfly effect, and somehow you would not be who you were.
I think so.
Yeah, I guess I was doing a podcast earlier today. I think it was This Old House. It was some sort of, I was doing This Old House. And they were talking about going back and building your dad's old house later on after he became a celebrity and bought the house. And I took my crew and I rebuilt it. And it was a TV show I did years ago. People like it. And they were talking about it, and they said, did you have any thoughts about going back and the old house and living there and all that stuff? And I said, well, I did have a moment. I'm not sentimental, but I had a moment where I was standing on top of my old garage I lived in, and I looked across into the neighbor's pool, and I had a flashback of me living in that garage at 19, sweltering during the summer because there was no air conditioning in the garage, and like working construction in the mornings and have to get up at 6. And somewhere around 3 a.m., I couldn't take any more sweating in my cot. So I would get up, walk into the backyard, and there was a big block wall, pretty 6.5, 7 foot high. It was a full-size block wall, and I'd climb over it, and I would go to the neighbor's pool, and I would lower myself into it with holding on to the diving board.
Quietly?
As quietly as
I knew it. Good for you.
Quietly, quiet walker.
Yeah, I knew
quietly as I could, and I would hold myself underwater for as long as I could to get my core like down, and then quietly out of the pool, over the fence. It was all naked, by the way. It was 3 a.m, and it was still. It was totally still, and I could hear. The water was loud, like trying to get out of it. It was real frogman shit. And over the top, and they had a dog too, but I was so fucking hot, I didn't know what to do. And I'd climb over, and I was recounting that story with him, and I was thinking, yeah, I'm glad I did that, because it sounds fucking miserable, and it was, but it really makes me appreciate air conditioning.
For sure. Yeah,
really
absolutely.
appreciate it. Yeah.
I was working in Albuquerque one time, and the swamp cooler was broken. You remember when you had to stay in the condos?
Yeah.
The swamp cooler's broken, so it's hot as shit in there. And we had to freeze bed sheets during the day. And then when you'd wake up from the heat at like 7 in the morning, you'd go get the bed sheet and unfold it and sleep under a frozen bed sheet for like another hour till you were hot again. It was unbelievable.
I love poor people hot beat the heat stories.
Yeah.
Like I'm going to do a podcast where I just talk to Dr. Drew would tell me he wasn't poor, but in his first dorm room or wherever when he went off to Amherst in college, they had an air conditioner, but it was just in the window. And everyone else was in the bedroom over here in the bedroom, and it would be sweltering at night. They had the one, and they built like a series of tents and shafts, to get the air, to kind of get the air into the bedroom, like hanging sheets and putting a coat hanger and making essentially a ducting system out of plastic and sheets. And I love poor people innovation.
Yeah, we took a styrofoam cooler, flipped the lid, poked holes in it, and then put a block of ice on it with a fan towards us. This is at the same place, Albuquerque.
Right.
And then it would melt, and then we'd refreeze the water, and we'd have a system where we'd always have ice on top of the cooler with a fan blowing the ice at us, because it was brutal.
I know. And my fucking kids grew up in a house that had 6 different zones.
Yeah.
But they're not going to be as funny as us, right, Chad?
Yeah, that's right.
All right, the plugs on the tour. American Comedy Co. That's in San Diego. Cool club there. Zanies, another good place in Chicago. And then Comedy on State, Wisconsin. Madison, all coming up. Go to ChadDaniels.com and watch the special as well. It's very funny on Netflix. Chad, great to talk to you and get caught up with you, man.
Thanks for having me. Good to see you.
Good to see you. We'll take a break. Back with, I think, ELISHA KRAUSS news right after this. O'Reilly Auto Parts. Yeah. Well, O'Reilly Auto Parts, what do? Well, they keep your car on the road. That's the business they're in. O'Reilly Auto Parts offers friendly, helpful service and the parts and knowledge you need to maintain and repair your vehicle. They're smart, they're nice, and they're courteous. I told you I was in the one in Glendale a few weeks back. The guy held the door open for me when I left. That's right. So whether you're a car aficionado or an auto novice, you'll find the employees at O'Reilly Auto Parts are knowledgeable, helpful, and best of all, friendly. So what do? Well, you stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts today, or you hop online and visit us at O'ReillyAuto.com. That's O'ReillyAuto.com/Adam. O'ReillyAuto.com/Adam.
This September, CBS hits are streaming free on Pluto TV.
I'm coming in hot.
For this month only, stream full episodes of Matlock,
I'm a lawyer, like the old TV show.
Fire Country, Elsbeth,
I do love a mystery.
NCIS Origins, Watson, and Ghosts.
What the hell?
This is the most amazing sight I've never seen.
All for free. The CBS shows you love, this month only on Pluto TV. Stream now, pay never.
It's time to check Adam's voicemail.
Hey, Adam. Got a rich man, poor man for you. Being driven around by others for work. You're either a corporate bigwig in a town car or on an airplane, or you're a migrant worker in the back of a 10-passenger van. The middle class, we just drive themselves to and from work. Get it on.
You can leave us a message at 888-634-1744.
Yeah, that one has been covered for the rich man and the poor man. I don't do it normally, but there's a version of it. But Uber kind of screwed it all up because Uber, now everyone's getting driven
capitalism.
around. Yeah.
I just thought of my children. Or you're like a middle-class kid getting driven around by a mom.
It used to be you get driven to the airport, which is when you're poor, your friend drops you off at the airport. When you're rich, the town car drops you off at the airport. But then Uber screwed up the joke because now everyone's kind of
Everybody
Uberized.
can do it. Although, it's like $130 to like Uber to LAX now.
I
was
listen,
just shocked by it.
There's a weird. I have a poor person mentality.
Yeah.
And so once in a while, I'll be with someone and they'll go, oh, I left my sunglasses or whatever. And then someone will go, we'll just Uber them over to your house. And I'll go, that $86 to bring. Yeah, we'll put them, I'll call an Uber. We'll put them in the Uber. They'll bring them over. And it's like, I'm going to pay $77 to return this person's sunglasses. For some reason, there's an Uber where no one's in the car. You're just bringing stuff out.
I've had friends that have done that before.
And I'm like, it just feels like an exorbitant amount of money.
Right.
For returning
and then you
something.
have to communicate it to the... I did do that once when my toddler, my second kid at the time, hid my driver's license, and I ended up at O'Hare. Did you know that you can fly with a Costco card and a TSA pre-check?
No, I did not know that.
So apparently, because your Costco card is renewed every year, so it's renewed more frequently than your driver's license. They were like, totally fine that you don't have your driver's license. We know you got to make this flight for a speech in Chicago. And then they were like, also, you have pre-checks, so we've done a background check. You're okay. I think they just gave me a pat down and checked my luggage, right? But then I couldn't get my rental car at O'Hare. And it was a whole process. And I had my husband fax a photo to like a FedEx off-site. And then I had an Uber pick up the FedEx and bring it to the rental car facility. And I remember it was like $30. And I was like, this is ridiculous. Just give me the freaking rental car. It felt like it's so dumb to pay that money.
All right, stuff to get into. So there's this shooting at the ICE facility that took place very recently, and people were killed. And I've been saying this, and I think...
Detained immigrants were killed.
Oh, they were? I didn't hear the... Okay, so... Were they trying to kill detained immigrants?
Well, that was what leftists on X were saying, but then it turned out that, no, the guy was actually anti-ICE, and I think he was just a very bad shot.
Right. Okay, so here's the thing that I've been saying for a long time. You are compelling people to take action if you keep talking this way about people who are trying to do a job. There's a way to disagree with people in a way that doesn't compel people to take action, but that's not the way they do it. And so the night before the shooting, Gavin Newsom was on Colbert. By the way, always note the deep leg cross.
You love to talk about the leg cross.
Because it is a competition with...
Did they like color coordinate their suits too?
Progressive guys cross their leg. The only one who'll go deeper than Gavin Newsom is Obama.
Obama does do it pretty deep. He almost can wrap his ankle like around his other foot. He
dislocates his hip on his left side so he can get a little more action.
Very flexible hip flexors.
I think these two guys work with like a Pilates instructor, and like the Pilates instructor, like on the first day, they go, "Are you having back problems or upper back or lower spinal?" And they go, "I want to learn I want to be able to cross my legs like I never had a cock and ball."
I want to virtue signal so much when I go on late night television.
If you saw them with their Pilates instructor, it would all be them sitting on a padded chair and the Pilates guy just forcing the deep leg cross is how you signal to your constituency that you are down because you don't have balls. All right, so here he is. I don't know. I mean, what is this?
He's letting the gray come in a little more. Good for him. He's embracing the age.
Is this good? Is this 10? Thank you. Is this 10 hours before the shooting? I don't know. Maybe it's 12 hours.
I think I'd see
All right,
this.
but here he is.
Happening in the United States of America, masked men jumping out of unmarked cars, people disappearing, no due process. No oversight, zero accountability happening in the United States of America today. People ask, well, is authoritarianism, you're being hyperbolic? Bull, we're being hyperbolic.
No.
If you're a black and brown community, it's here in this country. And so I'm deeply proud that I had the privilege of signing the nation's first bill to address the issue of masking. Also to require, you have simple identification, to your point. I mean, if some guy jumped out of an unmarked car in a van with a mask on, tried to grab me, I mean, by definition, you're going to push back. And so these are not just authoritarian tendencies. These are authoritarian actions by an authoritarian government. You saw what Stephen Miller said last week.
All right. Hold on. If you just woke up, like if I just woke up, I went to bed whenever Terry Schiavo fell into a coma, And then I just woke up now and I turned this on. I'd go, what's going on here? Well, this is a late night show. And I go, who's that? Well, he's the governor of California. I'd go, oh, what's going on? We got to take up arms. Like, we got to go.
He said you have to push back.
Well, not only got to push back, but he said that unmarked cars and masked guys with no ID
are grabbing people from behind.
Black and brown. It's always black. I don't know what black people. Don't you feel like black people just want to go, can you just fucking leave me out of this one? Like, this isn't us. This isn't us. Like, I know you like to say black and brown, black and brown, black, whatever.
They just got a broad swath.
Everything affects the black and the brown person. You cannot not include the blacks, but I don't know how many blacks qualify for what exactly you're
like how many
Ugandan
immigrants are being rounded up by ICE
and disappeared.
Like Haitian.
Disappeared means what? Give us examples. Who are we talking about? Who? No ID. No nothing. All right. So he's lying. I don't know how much more of this. I'll watch a little more. But sorry.
The chills are fine. Called the Democratic Party an extremist organization, basically a terrorist organization, saying he's going after his enemies. You saw the tweet that Donald Trump sent out, Truth Social, basically telling Pam Bondi, I want these 3 people taken out. That's happening in the United States.
All right.
And he said this literally 10 days after Charlie Kirk was murdered.
There's another
clip. Does he have no sensibility at all?
This is the greatest clip, which is I love the misuse of the word literally. I love it when people go, I was so scared. I jumped out, literally jumped out of my skin. Literally. Okay? Literally jumped out of my skin. It's like, you're not using the word literally correctly. There. He's doing, well, let's listen to this one. This is good. This is a few days before. He's signing a bill. Oh, by the way, I love when Gavin Newsom gets angry. I love indignant Gavin Newsom.
I
love when he goes.
Indignant?
No, he is now. He was nice. There was nice
he
Gavin.
Used to be nice Gavin. I feel like
now
he was nice when nobody pushed back on him.
And now he's like, you always look when he says damn.
Oh yeah.
And he goes, I'm sorry, but these damn.
So tough.
His damn rule. Mm-hmm. And it's like, I can no longer contain myself because he's damn angry about it. It's the whole thing is, it's such a thinly veneered, paper thin, hollow, tinny act. I would believe one of those plastic owls that they put up on the roof so seagulls don't shit on your restaurant more than I believe this guy's acting. Why is it attractive to people?
It's only attracted to like a small group of people. And I have been hearing some rumblings that some high level Democratic donors do think that he might be the chosen one for 2028 because they think that they can like moderate him a little bit. I honestly think if they were smart, they'd choose Josh Shapiro, but I don't know if they're that smart. He is like the male. He's the male Kamala.
Yes.
Like the lack of empathy and realness. I think that
zero.
There's
soulless.
Zero. It's like it's such a shtick for him. There's not a genuine bone in his body.
But let's hear this one because he uses literally.
People quite literally disappearing.
All right, sorry, you got to go back. Go back to the start. Sorry.
People in mass, people quite literally disappearing. No due process, no rights in a democracy where we have rights.
No rights.
Immigrants have rights.
Immigrants.
And
we're all immigrants.
Have the right to stand up and push back, and that's what
they're
going to
push back.
Here.
All right. So anyway, people are literally disappearing. Like Merlin showed up with a magic wand and went poof, and just literally disappearing people.
Is this this guy's been in government for a while? He's like a lawyer. I mean, how due process is for American citizens?
But also, Stephen Colbert or any one of these guys, can you stop them in the middle and go, look?
Of course not.
These people are trying to do a job. Now, maybe you disagree with it, and maybe they do things that you don't agree with on occasion, but they're not just showing up and grabbing Americans and
Turns out we have evidence
them.
to show that the people that they're disappearing are people who have, I don't know, stood with Hamas and other people that have actually killed American citizens.
But also, it's a process.
Those?
Everyone has a badge. Everyone has a job. everyone gets processed. There's no rogue agents that are disappearing
I have friends
people.
that work for like FBI SWAT. Turns out when they go in and raid places, like remember that like whole Armenian money laundering thing where they were stealing money from the government from COVID and it was like tens of millions of dollars? They were U.S. citizens. FBI SWAT goes in, they're masked.
Right.
And then those guys get due process because all of that is a part of like the arrest warrant and the procedure to move forward and prosecute them at trial.
Right.
And this is like, they're conflating if you and I, as American citizens, were to get grabbed by masked men on the street from the government is very different than an illegal immigrant with alleged crimes that they have committed on top of illegally crossing the border.
Right. But if you thought
it's not the same, like I'm sorry, guys, you don't have the same rights.
No, they always say your constitutional rights. Well, constitutional rights apply to people who are legal citizens in the United States.
Yeah, but also if you really break it down, it's super simple. They think Maryland dads are being snatched up off the street in unmarked vans, and we think ex-gangbanger human traffickers are being grabbed by the streets. It's the same guy. They think of him as a friendly Maryland dad. I think of him as a human traffickers in a gang.
And maybe there are some of these people that are in the in-between, right?
Yeah.
But
listen, look, there is going to be gray area. And things fall through the cracks. It's just the way it's going to work.
But these are the same people that wanted to arrest people for misinformation online during COVID.
Right.
This is the same guy that prosecuted the guy that did the undercover Planned Parenthood videos when they were selling baby body parts.
Right.
Without all the HIPAA violations on the face of the planet. This is the same guy that wanted to dox with Kamala Harris, by the way, libertarian and conservative donors here in the state of California. Right. So like the due process thing, I just don't believe because you and I are too informed and have brain cells to like see through his BS.
Yeah, I mean, Obama weaponized the IRS against his enemies. I don't know how much process.
Our buddy Dave Rubin.
Yes.
He Newsom and the IRS came after him too.
Yeah, I don't know how much process that you get when the president weaponizes the IRS to go after conservative businesses or whatever.
Lower level staffers.
Yeah. All right, so I just want to see him on Colbert one more time, just the first 40 seconds, just to hear what he says, because this takes place, I don't know, 10 hours before the shooting begins at the ICE facility, maybe 12.
That's happening in the United States of America. Masked men jumping out of unmarked cars, people disappearing, no due process. No oversight, zero accountability.
Hold on a second. So everyone is just rogue?
Yeah.
Like, are these rogue ICE agents or just rogue citizens or individuals?
With no due process, masked cartel guys round up people in Mexico, too, and he doesn't get too upset about that.
Right. But I love the hyperbole. Like everyone's just like Tom Homan's just running around with a dart gun shooting people that are brown or black and dragging them in.
But he said there's no hyperbole.
Island.
He loves that word too.
I love there's no
literally and hyperbole.
Started from the beginning. He's not exaggerating. Here we go.
Happening in the United States of America. Masked men jumping out of unmarked cars, people disappearing, no due process. No oversight, zero accountability happening in the United States of America today. People ask, well, is authoritarianism, you're being hyperbolic? Bull, we're being hyperbolic. If you're a black and brown community, it's black in this country.
I like that he leads with black.
I'm deeply proud that I had the privilege of signing the nation's first.
Now, okay, here's the deal.
He's proud of a law that doesn't do anything.
Right,
He's got jazz hands, man.
Now here's where the hero part comes in. He steps in. He stands up. But it's a lot of stand up and fight and push back and whatever. And here's what I'm saying on this show. Gavin Newsom is 60 and lying and fucking knows he's lying and knows he is using tons of hyperbole when he says no hyperbole. And everybody over the age of 45 in politics is lying their fucking ass off. He knows what's going on, and all he's doing is lying. Colbert's lying. They're all lying, and they're all just sitting there lying, and they don't care. All the old folks are lying. The people who are doing the shooting are in their 20s.
Mm-hmm.
So they're not the old guys that are lying. The old guys are lying, and then they're motivating the young guys who are picking up the guns. Because what he's describing, I was kind of thinking about this. One of the best films of all time, although you're far too young to have seen it, Red Dawn.
Excuse me, that's like homeschool material.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the original, the remake. What the hell?
Red Dawn. All right, what happened? What happened in Red Dawn? Well, in Red Dawn, what happened is what he's describing is going on in America.
Yeah.
This force swept in, this evil force swept in. They were disappearing people into camps. They're taking over in unmarked trucks. And he's describing essentially what happened to the town in Red Dawn is essentially what's happening in Los Angeles with ICE. And what's happening overall with Trump, it's our own people, but it's Trump doing it and calling the shots. Okay, so who's the hero of the movie in Red Dawn? It's the young kid renegades who hid in the hills, and they would come down on raids.
And drink the deer blood.
And they would shoot up. You did see this movie. They would come in and they would shoot up the bad guys, and then they would leave again. Did anyone go, oh, what's Charlie Sheen doing and Patrick Swayze? Wait a minute, you shot? No, they're the heroes of the movie because the invading, occupying force has taken over the town, and now they're rebelling, and they're fighting, and they're pushing back, and they're yelling, Wolverines! He should just start yelling Wolverines.
But that would be hyperbolic. He would say that that's hyperbolic and that's outrageous.
Right.
And that's like, no, heaven forbid.
So you've convinced a bunch of, through your lies, through your reckless and dangerous lies, you've convinced a bunch of young men to pick up arms and fight. And by the way, if I believed 3 of your syllables, I would go out and fight as well.
Yeah, it's like the whole punch a Nazi in the face.
Right.
Authoritarianism, fascism, lots of freedom, like no due process. These are all really scary things. And from the people that for the last 10 plus years told people like me that conservative speech on college campus is dangerous.
Right.
Now they're trying to say, no, our speech isn't dangerous. Our calls to violence aren't dangerous. Just like on one side of the aisle is that dangerous.
Yeah. I mean, ultimately, Newsom's lying and doing what he does for some reason, seizing something that he thinks important. Colbert's more of a useful idiot. He's just kind of going along with it.
Do you think Colbert's legs are under there? Do you think he's sitting crisscross applesauce?
No. You think No, you don't need to cross your legs if no one's watching. If they can't see your legs.
He gets to like man spread under there?
He's man spreading under there.
Okay.
Well, Newsom wouldn't need to cross his legs if they had a desk in front of him.
Oh.
But now that people are watching, you need to know how sensitive he is about how deeply he can cross his legs.
It's kind of the same thing as wearing a mask. If you wear a mask, you care about other people. He's demonstrating in that.
Well, unless you're ICE.
Not if you're ICE.
No, but that leftist way. Yes, a COVID mask.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, you got news, Elisha KRAUSS?
We do got news. Roseanne Barr is a little upset at ABC allowing Jimmy Kimmel to return. She says it's a double standard and talks about, quote, I got my whole life ruined, no forgiveness and all of my work stolen, and I was called racist for a time and eternity for racially misgendering someone. It just shows how they think, and it's a complete double standard. Of course, back in May of 2018, when she tweeted that former Barack Obama advisor Valerie Jarrett was a product of, quote, Planet of the Apes and of the Muslim Brotherhood, ABC yanked her show off the air despite the fact that it was one of the network's most watched series.
Yeah.
She says she thinks that it's not fair and she isn't holding her breath. I guess she didn't watch the monologue last night. She said she didn't expect him to apologize. And she said she's been blacklisted ever since. And she thinks it's not fair.
Well, no one will go along with me on this because when subjects of race come around, everybody gets scared. And then everyone who I speak to just disagrees with me instinctively. But you can look up pictures of Valerie Jarrett and she looks like a middle-aged Armenian woman or something. She does not present as a black woman is what is what I would say. I went last night because I was like, and I looked at like 5 pictures, and I just showed my girlfriend. I go, does this look like a black woman? She goes, no. But she's something. She can be, first off, this is America. Like if you talk to her and you went, what's your nationality? And she went, my dad's from Honduras and my mom is Dutch. I'd go, well, there you go. Like I would go, you liar, you're black. She doesn't, you can go to the page, the Google image page and look at 9 pictures of her and she doesn't present as a black woman. So but
she's a protected class because she's a leftist who worked for their like demigod,
right?
Barack Obama.
But when Roseanne Barr makes the Planet of the Apes reference, and really that's what gets her is the race component, and then Roseanne goes, "I didn't know the bitch was black." Later on, that was her apology. I would not know this is a black woman either by looking at pictures of her. I would assume she's something, but everybody in the United States is something. Do you know what I mean? Like there's plenty of swarthy. If you got most Americans, you went, Valerie Jarrett, what is she? Quick. They'd go Armenian, I guess, or Hispanic. They'd go who?
They would say who, and then you say this lady, she worked for Barack Obama.
Well, okay. Go to the middle picture where she's standing next to an actual black woman.
Like she's with Michelle and Barack right there.
Go next, or the middle. I use the word middle. Go to the middle picture. Well, you're going to have to go down because you moved it. Go to the middle where she's standing. All right. That's what a black woman looks like. This looks like a picture of a Hispanic woman standing next to a black woman or man. I don't know exactly what it is anymore. But the whole point is yes.
Identifies as a woman.
She was railroaded. There's no doubt.
And so, and I get it's like it's 2 things can be true at once. You can be, against the Roseanne cancellation and also against the Kimmel cancellation.
I think if you're being consistent, you should be.
Right.
But you can't cheer one and not the other.
Well, yeah, and that's what people are kind of saying. And I think that's why you have people kind of on our side of the aisle that are like, yeah, it's time that they get what they deserve, because for so long, like in one of our other news stories, we have, all these people that were canceled and blocked on YouTube at the behest of the Biden administration, by the way, that are finally having their comeuppance.
This is my
Google
whole
reinstating their YouTube accounts years after they were banned for misinformation.
Okay. This is my whole thing with the whole Mark Ruffalos of the world. Please spare me your fucking constitutional arguments all the time and your crocodile tears. This is the Biden administration going to big tech and deplatforming people who disagree, essentially, with whatever message he may be putting out on any subject.
It happened to Jay Bhattacharya, Ben Shapiro, Dave Rubin, Stephen Crowder.
And you said nothing.
Yep.
You said nothing. Yep. You didn't say a fucking word. Yep. So please, stop trying to convince me that you're interested in this. Because I did not hear a peep during COVID out of any of these people,
or even now that it's
now that it's
like
out,
public information,
right?
That Google is admitting that the Biden administration pressed them,
right?
Like Google's like, yeah, they actually did.
No, I sent a tweet out to, I think it was, I know Mike Birbiglia did a thing where comedians need to raise their voice, and I said, you didn't say shit during COVID. You said nothing, and you wanted to shut up comedians who did want to say something during COVID. So don't give me the raise the voices comedian thing. Why don't you just say we're going to cherry pick our subjects and decide whether we should be patriotic or not? If
somebody's on our side or not.
Right. And then we'll speak as comedians.
By the way, this wasn't just during COVID. This also was this Republican-led investigation, of course, this committee was looking into big tech companies, including Google, that censored and suppressed content on their platforms related not just to COVID-19, but also the 2020 election and Hunter Biden.
Oh, Hunter Biden. That didn't turn out. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, my whole thing is just be consistent.
Yeah,
be outraged if you think the government got involved with Kimmel's firing, and then be outraged now
at Meta and Google for this same bullshit.
And Biden.
Yep.
Be outraged over this, because this is a bigger government overreach.
Yep.
But you'll never say a word about it.
But it doesn't, you're right, it is a bigger government overreach, because it didn't just affect like A-listers on the right side of the aisle. It affected people like my mom and my grandpa and my uncle. Like, it affected if anything, one might outrage you more than the other because it affected not just the people with millions of dollars and millions of followers, but your average American that was utilizing these systems that they thought allowed them to have free expression, that was suppressing it the whole entire time.
Yes. All right. Give me one more before we bring her.
You want to talk about Miss Kamala Harris?
Yeah, she's great.
She says she now has concerns about trans student athletes and that Republicans misrepresented her take on trans issues during the campaign.
Wait. I got a philosophical question. I'll ask you, Dawson. I'll ask you too, Alicia. Who at their core is more hollow and sort of less genuine and more just paper thin? Is it Gavin Newsom or is it Kamala Harris? Like who? Here's what I want to say. Let's just say I have a graduated cylinder. You were homeschooled. You didn't have a Bunsen burner. I went to public school.
My tax dollars paid for you to have a Bunsen burner?
I failed Mr. Diliberti's biology class, but I have a graduated cylinder. Are you ready, Dawson? And are you ready, Alicia KRAUSS?
Okay, all right, here we go.
It's a graduated cylinder, and there's lines on it all the way up, and it's measured. It's there to measure liquid to see how high it'll get up there. Mm-hmm. And at the top, it says authentic person liquid. Okay. If I put...
God forgot to give that to Kamala.
If I put Gavin Newsom in a Cuisinart, and I know he's heavier than her, but let's erase that. I put Gavin Newsom in a Cuisinart, and I put Kamala Harris in a Cuisinart, and I made them into liquid, and then we dumped it into this graduated cylinder. Who would be more closer to a human? Ooh. Who would get closer to the top of that? Now, they both be remarkably low.
True.
Right?
I would actually give it to Gavin.
You think he'd get up a little higher?
I think he would.
I think
he might too.
Right? You know why I say that? Because I think he's still kind of friendly with his ex-wife, Kimberly Guilfoyle. So I think that there's like a small dose of like normal humanity still left in that soulless body.
Right. And he doesn't have... He has kids.
It's like he's the Saja boy.
She doesn't have kids, right?
Demon hunters, and he might be able to.
She has
saved.
Doug Emhoff's kids.
Yeah,
here's the problem.
Kids.
She what?
She's step kids.
No kids for a woman is a little bit of a marker of less in the beaker, the cylinder. But go ahead.
Here's the problem: when you blend up Gavin Newsom, evil just turns into a gas form and escapes and takes a lot of that with you. I think Kamala is more of a person. I think she's a dumb person. I think Gavin is incredibly smart and calculated, and he knows the shit that he's doing. He's
not incredibly smart though, because he can't answer a question.
Because he knows he's wrong.
Yeah, he doesn't.
But
want
he's so evil.
I know, but people. Hannibal Lecter was wrong too, but he could answer the question. You know what I mean? Like
Well, this is.
I agree with you. He has little flashes of intelligence, but he also, when you're wrong, you get your shit together and you come up with an answer. He has no. Well, maybe that was just
Kamala
me.
couldn't do that either.
That's true.
So,
and she has no kids, which is a little soulless there. Tough.
Okay. Just as the woman in the room, I'm going to say some women might want kids and don't have kids, and some women have step-kids, and some women have foster kids and adopted kids, and they're all kids.
Well, listen,
Gavin
foster
banged his campaign manager's wife. Yeah.
Foster kids and adopted kids, that gets you higher up than gets you more in the cylinder.
You're like sainthood in my
that's right. Mm-hmm. If Kamala Harris went, look, I have an...
Unless you're Amy Coney Barrett, because then the left doesn't like that.
Then they hate you, right. But if Kamala Harris said, look, I have reproductive issues, but I adopted a bunch of kids from Biafra or something, I'd go like,
then
she's
she would have more of the human
more
serum.
juice. All right, so you got... More,
I think you could forego the Cuisinart and blend Gavin in one of those magic bullets, and that's all he's going to get in the graduated cylinder. He's not a human.
Actual bullet. Okay, no, you say.
Although
you say Gavin more in the beaker.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's a graduated cylinder, but yes,
it's a graduate, just based solely on his like relationships. right? Like his relationships
like
that he
I
has
said,
with people on the other side of the aisle.
I
feel like...
I believe he's a good dad. I believe, he has kids. I believe he cares about his kids. And I think he has some sort of thing where he's not a bad guy. But we're getting to the point, and I think we need to get to this point, which is bad guys with bad and dangerous ideas are still dangerous people, even if they come in a friendly package or even if their heart is in the right place. You are you're a politician with a heart of gold who wants to give the young 17-year-old from the wrong side of the tracks a new lease on life, even though he's been arrested 14 times. So you turn him loose and he fucking stabs you, stabs a citizen. Yeah. I'm sorry, heart of gold person. That still makes you a bad person.
Yeah, the intent wasn't there, but the result of it is the hellscape that is California.
Yes. By the way, I just want to be clear that a magic bullet is a type of blender.
Not a vibrator.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, if it was, oh boy. I'm going to meet that lady.
He and Kamala have a similar answer, though, on the trans issue. It's like they say that they have concerns about it and it's not fair, but they don't give like a straight up answer about what they're going to do.
Gavin has to straddle a line of saying he's into fairness and it's not fair, but then he won't physically verbally take a stand on anything. Yeah.
Or tell the California Sports Commission to, not let...
saying it's an issue of fairness is very ambiguous because both sides argue it's unfair that my daughter, who's now my son, or my son that's now can't compete against, so it's a cop-out zero answer.
It is. Kamala said, quote, I agree with the concerns expressed by parents and players that we have to take into account biological factors such as muscle mass and unfair student athletic advantage when we determine who plays on which teams, especially in contact sports. But she continued, with goodwill and common sense, I believe that we can come up with ways to do this without vilifying and demonizing children.
Nobody vilifies and demonizes. They just go, we don't want people with an unfair biological advantage whooping up on the girls.
Boy
That's not demonizing or villainizing. We don't want it.
Yeah.
It's the weirdest thing ever. It's like, what do you got? What's your problem with drag queens? I don't want them at the library dancing in front of 5-year-olds. That's all.
My favorite video.
You want to go down to Queen Mary and shake your fucking moneymaker and tuck your junk between your legs? Do it all night.
That is literally demonizing them.
I've demonized them. All right, Chase Price, very good country singer. Oh, what did I say, Price? I'm sorry. I was Charlie Price. Chase Rice, country singer. I was just watching stuff out there. I got an announcement for him that's going to be surprised that I'm excited to do. He's going to be in here, and we'll do that right after this. Homes.com. Well, I love me some Homes.com. Why? Why, Adam? Well, some might say Homes.com is the best home shopping site. It may be Homes.com's super comprehensive and transparent agent directory, or maybe it's that Homes.com is the only site that always directly connects you with the listing agent who knows the home the best. Perhaps it's because Homes.com has the most in-depth neighborhood content of any home shopping site that's extensively researched to highlight the personality of each neighborhood. Homes.com goes above and beyond to bring home shoppers the in-depth info they need to find the right home. It's a hobby of mine, but I like going on and seeing what houses are going for and where they are and square footage and all that kind of stuff. So if you like that too, or you're looking to buy or sell, go to Homes.com. That's Homes.com. We've done your homework.
This September, CBS hits are streaming free on Pluto TV.
I'm coming in hot.
For this month only, stream full episodes of Matlock,
I'm a lawyer, like the old TV show.
Fire Country, Elsbeth,
I do love a mystery.
NCIS Origins, Watson, and Ghosts.
What the hell?
This is the most amazing sight I've never seen.
All for free. The CBS shows you love, this month only on Pluto TV. Stream now, pay never.
Sure. Left leg aches when it's cold, sure. 04 ain't 10 years ago and it hurts a whole lot worse they used to when I pour whiskey like I'm 22 and I'm over, looking over my shoulder. It don't do me no.
Chase Rice in studio. New album, Eldora, is out as we speak. And Chase, I got a happy surprise for you.
All right.
I was told you were unaware of this, but I was told I could announce that your album, Lambs and Lions, has officially been certified as gold.
Really?
Yeah.
Lambs and Lions. I forgot about that record.
It's officially gold.
That's awesome.
That's a good piece of news.
So I grew up in Nashville doing the mainstream, the radio, and all that stuff. So I was getting plaques left and right when I started.
Mm-hmm.
But man, I haven't had a plaque in like 7 years, I don't think.
Well,
that's sick.
Good.
Let's go.
I'm so glad you're into it.
Hell yeah.
And it must be nice. You came in here, you commented on what I was talking about before you came in, a little common sense, but very rare out in L.A. And here's what I'm going to say is nice. I live in L.A. I work in comedy. No one around me in my business or in Los Angeles agrees with anything I say, and you will jeopardize your career because you're not getting into Sundance and you're not getting onto Netflix if you talk how I talk.
Yeah.
But if you're in country music and you talk the way we talk in LA, it may hurt you as well. So it must be nice to be able to speak freely amongst the group you're in.
It's believe it or not, it's depends on what years we're talking about. If we're talking like 2020, you couldn't say anything.
Really?
Just like anybody.
Mm-hmm.
I reached a point in 2020 where I said, fuck it. I'm going to be myself. I'm not going to try to please the industry. I'm not going to try to please the Grammys, similar to what you were talking about. It changed my music. Like, I'm going to say what I want, learn, become educated, and have my opinion and not be afraid to speak it, because that's the whole point of this country, is you're supposed to be able to say what's on your mind.
I agree, and I also think it's kind of the whole point of music and the whole point of comedy. Like I repeated to people all through COVID, all through these times when they were telling me shut up.
Yeah,
I would go, I'm a comedian.
Yeah,
I can't shut up, and I can't say what you want me to say because it's popular. And I'll go back to swinging a hammer if I'm going to start going down that road. Yeah. So no,
I've done it. I've done the whole like silence yourself thing, and once 2020 happened, I was over that shit. I'm going to be myself. And I saw something even Miranda Lambert said the other day. She was like talking about she's going to blow up her career if she has to by speaking her mind on, I think it was on Kimmel. And for me, it's like, if you can't say what you want to say, that's the whole point of this country, like freedom of speech. You're allowed to say what you want. Now, you're going to have to deal with the consequences of that. But what I found in 2020 was I did a show during COVID, got blasted for it by the mainstream media. And
because it was a gathering?
Because it was a gathering. Now, they didn't know any of the actual facts behind the show. There was like 10,000 seat place. There was 1,000 people there. They came to the front of the stage. Like, that's their choice.
Right.
Now, we're way past that, but there's going to be a new issue. There's new issues going on right now. With Charlie getting shot, everybody's fighting on social media. Now, I'm a big proponent of you should be allowed to say what you want to say. Like, that's freedom of speech.
Well, the weird thing that comes from the other side is they never really question that statement. They go, oh, no, I'm all about free speech as well, because it's like a parent saying, I don't like education. They go, no, I'm all for education. Now, what are you teaching the child? Now it's a different subject. So then they go, I'm all for free speech, First Amendment, blah, blah, blah. Then they go, but hate speech. And then they go, but I'll be in charge of what hate speech is, and also what fake news is, and what okay. You guys said that Joe Biden being cognitively impaired was a cheap fake. That's the last thing you said. You said Hunter Biden's laptop was, misinformation. What is it that you guys said that wasn't misinformation or deep fake or cheap fake that turned out to be true? And the answer is none of it. So now I think you're lying, and I certainly don't want you in charge of what's real and what's fake information.
Yeah, dude, I don't know what to believe. I get on social media these days, and I don't have a clue what to really believe. I got a couple friends that they go down the rabbit hole. I try to stay away from the rabbit hole, but the biggest thing for me is, I don't know. I have my beliefs, and what I believe in is true and right in this world, and I'm going to speak about that. And if I'll deal with those, that's the biggest thing. People aren't understanding, like, you're going to have consequences for what you say, and you're going to have consequences. All these people freaking out about, these people are allowed to say Charlie Kirk deserved to get shot, but they have to deal with those consequences for that. And they have to step up, and people coming after them, they're not trying to censor them. They're just saying that's bullshit. Like,
I agree.
It's a fucking double standard. That's crazy.
I'm with you. So I'm looking here, and an interesting past. You played D1 linebacker. You're on a NASCAR pit crew. Yeah. Which makes sense because at some point they were like, why do we have these hard drinking, heavy smoking, fat hillbillies doing this? Why don't we get athletes?
That was I was
do it.
09. I graduated from UNC, was playing football. That was the path I was gonna take. 08, my dad died. The 08 and 09. 08, I lost my career to football injury, and my dad died. So I'm just like, shit, what is going on? That's when I learned to play guitar. But that's also, to your point, why we're going to have all these bigger dudes that are slow working the pit crew. So they brought in 9 of us at Hendrick Motorsports to see if we could just be faster. And they'd already started doing it on other teams and at Hendrick, but they brought in a whole class of ex-athletes. We're going to see how you guys can do.
So you're playing outside backer?
I was outside in nickel, and I was outside in bass, and I was inside in nickel. So I played all 3, really.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was smart. Like I knew I wasn't fast as some of the other guys. I knew I wasn't, as gifted, but I worked my ass off, and I was smarter than most guys because I had to be.
No, I agree. There's something to being not quite as gifted, but overcompensating a little with other things. I played linebacker too, and I had the same situation as you. I didn't play at as high level as you, but I was like an all-valley high school player. And I knew that it was going to be a little more technique and a little less foot speed for me. And you start like watching the guards, and you see when they're leaning forward,
lean back,
and you see when they're leaning back, and they're a little light touch on the ground. Like, okay, we got to pass, or this guy's pulling, and you start to feel things and read things, and so your IQ kind of carries you further than maybe your feet could.
Yeah. And I realized looking back, coaching is so huge. It should be an obvious statement, but my junior year, we had a guy named Chuck Pagano who ended up becoming the head coach of the Colts for a number of years. When he was there, I only played a quarter and a half under Chuck, but I was balling in camp. First game, I had like 7 or 8 tackles. 5 or 6 of them were taken away because of holding penalties and stuff. But I was playing good football. And then the second quarter, I snapped my ankle. I was done for the year. And my backups was a guy named Zach Brown and Bruce Carter. Zach was a first-round draft pick. Bruce was a second-round draft pick.
Really? So you started over 2 guys.
Yeah, they were younger. But I was starting over them. And now what I did wrong that year, instead I was selfish. Instead I was like, all right, I'm going to rehab. I'm going to get better. I'm going to come back next year and be the all-ACC linebacker. And instead of focusing on like, all right, how do I make these 2 young kids that don't know what they're doing, like get in the film room with those guys while I can't play and make our team better. I didn't do that. And that's just looking back, mistakes. I was 22 years old, and I was mad at the world because my dad had just died. So I wish I could go back and change that, because that would have made me a better player too by making those guys better.
So you obviously stand out in high school. Mm-hmm. You get recruited to UNC?
Yep.
How's the team back then? I mean, you have a coach that's in the NFL now.
Yeah, we were, so Ben Johnson. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, he, but we were good my freshman year, had 2 bad years, 1 solid year when Butch Davis came in. The next year we were really good. Like we were balling, and we only went 9-4 or something, which was a bad year for how good our team was. Ben Johnson, speaking of him, that's why I'm wearing a Bears shirt. He was my middle school quarterback, my high school quarterback, my college roommate, college quarterback. He was
really?
He was a walk-on at Carolina, and it's really cool to see what he's been doing, man. He's a smart. Like we'd go on spring break cruises, and we'd be all getting drunk as shit, and he'd be out playing like Sudoku and winning the Sudoku challenge on the cruise. He's always been a smart guy, so it's cool to see him balling. That house that we lived in, it was like 8 or 9 guys. We've had a lot of cool stuff come out of that house. A lot of NFL players. Ben now being a coach. A couple other guys.
You got coaches. A gold record. I got
a gold record again. Hell yeah. That's cool. It's been, I'd say 5 or 6 years since I had something like that.
Well, I like talking to football players because there's a work ethic, man, and they're tough, and they're some of the most sort of pragmatic, like, reality on reality terms kind of people, because it's just 2-a-days. It's the sun, it's drills, it's hitting, it's pain, it's overcoming, whatever. But nobody feels in their heart of hearts about something. There's nothing. It's just work. And I also noticed, like, they're humble in a sense. Like, this guy was faster than I was, and he was stronger than I was, but I overcompensated with it. Like you just did a whole thing where you selfishly were thinking about rehab instead of helping the guys that were underneath you in the same position or filling your role. Yeah. Now, you don't hear people talk that way normally.
Yeah. Well, that was just the older I've gotten, because I was bitter for a long time that I didn't get to play in the NFL. I'm like, I got hurt. Well, I had a year to come back. I did play, but I just wasn't as good. Now, I lost a step with my ankle. The 2 guys were 1st and 2nd round draft picks, and my dad had just died. You got to cut yourself a little bit of a break there. And I was a 22-year-old kid. I didn't deal with it great, but that's helped me in music, and that's helped me nowadays, like looking at other musicians. I don't look at I had a while in the beginning of my career, I kept that same mindset of like, fuck everybody. I want to be the best. I want to be the most known. It wasn't even the best. I just want to be the most famous, the one that was on the TV shows, the one that was selling out stadiums. And now I focus more on how do I make my music great? Like, how do I actually be the best singer, songwriter that I could possibly be? And that doesn't take away, like, who cares what's happening with Morgan Wallen or Zach Bryan or Ella Langley or whoever's popping off and blowing up? Like, good for them. Let's just support them. That's what I learned through football, and I took that into my music career.
Yeah, football's one big lesson.
Yeah,
essentially.
Yeah, it is.
And I think you get more. I think if you're the quarterback or the star running back, you get less of a lesson than the interior lineman.
Oh, my God.
The offensive linemen get the most lesson because it's all sacrifice. That's all they do is just work and work and work. And
I think offensive linemen, they're the toughest players on the field for sure, most of the time.
Yeah, so you go from high school, you get recruited out of high school, you're playing at a high level, D1, injury, dad dies, then injury, and you pick up the guitar at that point?
Yeah, I just learned to play a little bit the year before that, and through that year I was rehabbing. I actually was writing songs because that was the only way for me to deal with my dad dying. I wrote my first song about him, wrote another song, just kept writing songs, and I loved it. That was the only thing in life that made me happy at that point, and that was 2009. And 22 years old, 23 years old, whatever I was, and I just hated life except for because senior year I wasn't playing. I wasn't contributing to the team really at all. And I hated everything except for music. And that was like, even the next year I graduated and got the call to do Hendrick Motorsports. And my dad raced. I'm looking at all your stuff in your room. I was going to show you some pictures. He raced. So getting a NASCAR job, like that's him and Paul Newman right there.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
He won his class at it wasn't Rolex then, but 24-hour Daytona.
Oh, I can tell you what year that is.
That's his ass crack.
I can tell you what year that is. You go back to Newman and your dad, because I own the car that is peeking out from under the cover.
Wait,
that is in
this one?
The foreground. Yeah, that is a
Holy
Triumph
shit.
TR6 that Newman drove, that he won the D Production Championship in Road Atlanta in '76, I think. Show me the car. Watch, I will match the car, my car door.
You can see that.
Show me Newman. I'll just tell them, they'll find it. You don't need to find this one. Show me Newman's TR6, Triumph TR6 D Production car, and I will show you the same door.
And that's him and my mom.
Oh, my God.
She's a smoke show back then. She still is. Sorry,
Your
Mom.
dad's driving a Datsun 2000?
Yep.
Now, who the fuck else would know what car your dad was driving
Yeah,
from this
I
picture?
just asked my brother. I said, "What kind of car was the Datsun?" He said, "I don't know, but I'll find out."
He's driving in that is a Datsun 2000, or could be a Datsun 1600
That's
Roadster.
Maybe a different look at it.
And
that was Daytona, I believe.
All right, that's the car.
Oh my God!
And I own that car.
You own that car right there.
That's in the picture. Look at the 75.
That's so sick.
Look at the way the 75
is the exact same car.
Drawn in the outline around it. And that was Newman's own colors.
God.
So Newman's talking to your dad. His car's covered up.
Half covered, yeah.
And somebody pulled it back just enough. So your dad was a road racer.
He was a road racer.
Oh,
So
I
cool,
got to say
man.
I'm relieved because a lot of guys' dads, or not a lot of guys' dads, but I mean, they go, "Oh, my dad was a racer. They did circle, oval, dirt track or whatever." And it's like, it's fine, but you're just going in a circle for a long period of time. It's not a road course where you're mowing through the gears and turning left and right.
He got us into, we did it at Charlotte 2 years in a row. One was a 6-hour, one was an 8-hour go-karts. And they supply the carts. And we won the first year, which was sick. It was me, my 2 brothers, my dad, and my high school friend. And the high school friend didn't race. He was just up hanging out. But that was an 8-hour race where we're endurance racing around the inside there in Charlotte. Yeah.
O'Reilly Auto Parts. Yeah. Well, O'Reilly Auto Parts, what do? Well, they keep your car on the road. That's the business they're in. O'Reilly Auto Parts offers friendly, helpful service and the parts and knowledge you need to maintain and repair your vehicle. They're smart, they're nice, and they're courteous. I told you I was in the one in Glendale a few weeks back. The guy held the door open for me when I left. That's right. So whether you're a car aficionado or an auto novice, you'll find the employees at O'Reilly Auto Parts are knowledgeable, helpful, and best of all, friendly. So what do? Well, you stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts today, or you hop online and visit us at O'ReillyAuto.com. That's O'ReillyAuto.com/Adam. O'ReillyAuto.com/Adam. So your dad, first off, he's hanging around with Newman. He's driving a Datsun. Listen, the last car I raced was a Datsun 2000 Roadster in a vintage race. Now Dawson's got to find that.
That's crazy.
It's just a BRE Adam Carolla Datsun, whatever. It's the last. There's pictures of it in this hall. I can recognize the handle on the door.
I can't believe you own this car.
I do.
That's cool, man.
And your dad raced a 2000 Roadster. What else did he race?
So I'll try to find a picture. I was talking to my brother about trying to figure out what the cars were. I have two pictures in my house.
You show me the pictures, I'll tell you the car.
I'm sure I got them in here.
Now, he's raced a 2000 Roadster with a full cage.
Mm-hmm.
And I had an orange. Your dad's was orange or red? What was
His
it?
was orange.
You can find. All right, you ready,
on,
Don? You ready? 2000 Roadster, lightweight 2000 Roadster, Adam Carolla, orange. You'll see me racing an orange 2000 Roadster, or just 2000 Roadster, Adam Carolla. Anyway, Datsun. But yeah, if you show me the picture, so you would go to Hendricks. Hendricks is the biggest name in the game, right?
Right, especially at that point. Jimmy won 2 when I was there, and we got up to. We started in ARCA, moved our way up to Nationwide Truck. And then within like 6 months, a couple of our guys on our team that came in were one was up on Jeff Gordon's car. Now all of them a lot of them are still doing it. I saw them a couple weeks ago in Nashville, a couple months ago. But I was half-assing it. I was still in that hate life mindset, which was so dumb because that was the job. Like my dad was still alive. He died when I was 22 that year. But if he would have been around, he'd been like, dude, what are you doing? Like, you can do this. You know you can be the best at this. And I was half-assing everything because every day I'd go back and go to the hotel and try to write songs.
Right.
I didn't like it. And it was the perfect job for a guy like me. But we ended up getting up to the Nationwide Series. A couple of guys were in the Cup Series.
Are you a jack guy? Are you running the air gun, the impact gun?
I was a jack man first, and then they moved me. When I started finally giving it my all.
Oh, that's me in an orange. I've never even seen this picture, but that's a 2000 Roadster Datsun with a full cage in it, and then
this is crazy.
That's great. If you look at the door handle, it's the same.
Yeah,
it's the same. As
I found another one of this car. That's him and my mom again, but yeah, it's the same car.
Oh, that's a 2000 Roadster. That one has flares on, but that is 100% a Datsun 2000 Roadster. God, Dad was a cool dude.
This was my dad.
Wow, that's a dude. But see, the thing that's weird is I don't picture him as a Datsun guy. I picture him as a Mopar guy or something like that, like American Muscle guy.
I have a 70 Dodge Challenger that him and I dropped the 426 Hemi.
That's what I'm picturing.
That's where he got to. He probably couldn't afford it. I mean, he was broke back then. So, but he did win his class. I don't remember what year. It was 76 to 79, somewhere in there, that he won his class at Daytona. And so I remember being on a cruise.
24 hours a day.
24 hours, yeah. Won the class. It was one of those lower classes.
Yeah.
And before it was sponsored by Rolex, when Rolex came around, we'd go every year to the Rolex 24-hour Daytona, every year.
Wow.
And that's where I was born.
And he'd tow the car out there and do the whole thing?
Before we were born. Oh, yeah, he worked his ass off. He knew everything. You and him could sit here and have a field day.
Wow.
And I wish he could be here right now talking about it. But he always wanted I was middle school on a cruise with the family. And he's looking at Daytonas in the one of the shops in like Turks and Caicos or something. And he was about to buy it. I'm fired up just because the only reason I liked it was because it was Daytona. That's where I was born. And didn't buy it. Ended up buying 2 cheaper ones to give one to my mom. So he never got a Daytona. And I wanted a Daytona my whole career once I finally had enough money. But at that point, to get one was really hard. 2000, I think I got this one in 2019.
A Rolex Daytona, which is also a Newman. There's a Newman version of it or something.
Yep. But this is the one I wanted because this of the black was closest to Paul's. And my manager knew that years ago and ended up giving me this right here in L.A. in Orange County 5 or 6 years ago.
Wow.
Or it was 5 because it was 2021. So 2021 he gave me this, so 4 years ago. And that's why I wear the Daytona because my dad didn't buy one, and but I always wanted one. And it's kind of just a tip of that to him.
What'd your dad do for a living?
He was a residential contractor, so he built houses.
Oh shit, man! I used to be a builder.
You and him would have a field day, man.
We would just sit there drinking Coors, talking about Datsun Roadsters and Paul Newman and framing.
God, when I saw the Paul Newman stuff, I was like, "Damn, this is cool."
Well, I got 14 of his cars. Fuck. And they're all race cars. And I made a documentary on his racing.
Oh, my God.
And it's got all the old footage of him back in the day.
Watch that.
And he probably did a bunch of stuff. He raced. So they have D production, C production, B production. That's what you're talking about, different classes. So the Roadster may have been E production or D production, so Newman raced in all the different classes, so he was definitely racing with your dad.
So this is one of the pictures I have in my room, and he's the 87 car right there. What's that? I had to zoom way in to get to it, but
wait a minute, 87 or
87 in the back.
The one I'm looking at right there?
Yeah.
Oh, that says 87?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was looking the wrong way. Wow. What?
I believe that's a Datsun as well, but I could be wrong.
What year is this? Do you know?
That would be pre-80s.
Pre-80s.
79 maybe.
God, this is... I am telling you, there's no car I cannot decipher, but I'm having trouble in this. That's a tough one.
I'm going to ask my brother.
Ask your brother. Send him a text. I don't know which. That's a weird car to race and a different car to race.
Yeah, but that was at Daytona.
That was at Daytona because it was up on the bank.
Yep.
Yeah. And does anyone have those cars?
No.
They all went away?
No, they all. I have his racing suit. So Nashville, I wore one of his. He has a full body racing suit, and then he had the top and bottom. I wore the top at the Nashville race a couple months back.
He must have been a tall guy because you're a tall guy.
Yeah, he was about 6'3".
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Racing doesn't normally attract tall guys.
I know. I mean, he looked like Earnhardt. I mean, he looked like Dale.
Dan Gurney aside, but it's usually a shorter guy's game.
Yeah.
You know, it's just
he was big. Dale was big. Wasn't Dale over 6 feet? Senior.
I don't know how big he was. I watched a doc on him. But so you were one of the earlier guys to go from football, where they started recruiting guys to be pit guys.
Yeah, we were the first class that Hendrick ever brought in that was just focused on that. Like, we were the peons. Like, didn't get any respect, had to clean everything, start from the bottom. But within 6 months, we were doing really well. First day we get in, Coach Berkey was his name. He actually was who recruited me. He was the head guy in charge of bringing in all these ex-college athletes. And he was a GA at Carolina when I was a freshman, so he was in charge of me my freshman year.
Mm-hmm.
And so he called me when he saw that I didn't get picked up by any teams in the NFL and said, would you want to come work in racing? And I'm at Hendrick Motorsports. As soon as he said Hendrick Motorsports, I'm like, hell yeah, because I don't have a job. I'm just trying to write songs, but that wasn't going to be a career. So I immediately said yes, went and lived in a hotel room for 6 months to a year. Working on that, just trying to work our way up, and we got really good really fast. Our first day we roll in there, Berkey's like, he said, all right, boys, taught us the basics, how to get it onto the car, get the jack, get the guns going, how to index a tire. And he says, all right, after about an hour, we're going to do a pit stop. And so the car rolls around. We have no idea what we're doing.
Right.
We had an hour of training. And I think the first stop we did was 3.5 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And within 6 weeks, we were doing sub 14-second pit stops.
Sub 14 seconds.
And then
all 4 tires?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then you get down to that point, I think 12 to 13 seconds was unreal. Like, you get into the 11s, it was crazy. Now they do weird stops now. They've changed the way we did it.
They did. I was watching a doc. I think it was Hendricks who was going to Le Mans. I don't know if you saw that doc. There's a doc. I'm going to ask you to look it up, but it's like America Goes to Le Mans or something. They ran a NASCAR at the 24 Hours of Le Mans. And recently.
Like a stock car?
Yeah. At the 24 Hours of Le Mans. I mean, I mean, it was modified. I mean, they dialed it in for Le Mans. But they ran it at Le Mans, and it finished, and it was the first time a stock car finished Le Mans.
I can't believe it could go that long.
And, well, I mean, however they build the engines, they built it for an endurance race and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
But they did a pit crew competition, and there's all these, Audi and Porsche and all these Le Mans, Ferrari, the perennial all-stars. And they did the pit time competition, and the NASCAR guys won it.
Really?
Yeah.
That's cool as shit.
They won it. And you love the doc. I think it was Netflix. Dale Sr. 6'1", by the way.
6'1". Yeah, he's up there.
So the doc was like America Goes to Le Mans or Netflix, Le Mans. Hendricks went to Le Mans, 2023. And
I want to watch that because it's probably some of my guys.
Oh, yeah. It's a really cool doc. And they did have a timed pit competition, a pit stop competition. And these guys won it. Probably because the endurance guys are, first off, they don't have a bunch of jocks, college players to deal with. They got Frenchmen, you know what I mean? Number one, American Thunder. That's on Prime Video. American Thunder's on Prime Video.
Okay.
It's really cool. But so they've got a bunch of jacked jocks, going over the wall, but also they're doing endurance racing. They're doing 24-hour races and 12 hours of Sebring and 24 hours of Daytona. They're probably not. They're not doing as many sprint races, so it's probably a little
Yeah, I mean,
different
we
pace?
would practice every day. I mean, we do. When we first started, it was mornings, evenings, and like I said, we'd have to clean up after the Cup guys, just make sure all their stuff was cleaned up. And then we work your way up to the Nationwide and Cup cars. When I was there, it was 2009, 2010, and we won a championship with Jimmy both years. Hendrick did.
Jimmy Johnson.
I think he won 5. Yeah, I think he won 5 years in a row.
Yeah.
But it was like their shop. Everything they did was top level. Their shops, you could eat off the floor.
Right.
And they just had it figured out. I mean, NASCAR was changing rules almost, it seemed like, every year to try to get somebody else to beat Jimmy.
Right.
And he just kept figuring him and Chad Knaus. First time I did a pit stop in front of Chad, it was a nationwide race, and I think Ryan Newman was our driver. And Newman comes in, and at that point I was indexing. I'd moved from Jackman to tire carrier. And
is that what they call indexing?
Yeah, insert index. But I slam in on the right side and perfect run around. I clipped the wheel well on the left side as I'm going in, turns the tire. I'm jiggling it on there. It cost our team probably 2 seconds. And finally get it on, and I turn around, and Chad Knaus is standing right there with his arms crossed, just looking at me. I'm like, fuck. One time Chad comes and actually checks us out. And then Chad and I actually became close after that. So I just started picking his brain, and he was one of the best crew chiefs ever.
We got the trailer for American Thunder, and see if you of all people are gonna love this doc. But it's good.
God,
it's good
I didn't know
anyway.
this existed.
Yeah.
Le Mans is the biggest race in the world. It's a 24-hour race. It's about survival, pushing man and machine to the limit. We're going to race a NASCAR at Le Mans.
We're going to do what?
There's a stereotype that NASCAR isn't as technologically advanced as other racing series.
In 1976, Bill France took a couple of NASCARs to Le Mans.
One made only 2 laps.
Our goal was to make sure that we beat my father's record.
Mike Rockefeller, Jimmy Johnson,
Jensen Button.
You're not going to get bigger star power.
Oh, I just talked to Jensen Button.
Is NASCAR's most successful, most powerful team.
Laguna Seca.
If you were going to choose a team, this was the team you wanted to choose.
We're going to do this right. Whatever it takes. We're not going to be embarrassed.
All right. You get it. Shit. Yeah, Jensen Button. I mean, Jensen Button raced in my race.
Really?
Yeah, and I'm racing in a vintage race.
Yeah.
And I got an F1 guy up front.
Did he smoke you?
A little bit. He may have had more horsepower. I don't know if it was a driver thing, but he whooped up on all of us.
Damn.
But it's like, you can't. This is a vintage race. This is old dudes that are fat sitting in Datsuns.
Did you ever race Le Mans?
No.
Or Daytona?
Still a dream. No, never raced.
God.
I did a couple professional Trans Am races and Trans Am 1, like in big cars.
Yeah.
And that's as close as I got to like real racing.
I couldn't believe when I walked in. Like I said, first of all, I didn't expect to come into LA and hear your viewpoints. So I'm sitting there like, fuck, man, thank God somebody who's got some common sense. And then I'm looking around all the cars, all the racing stuff, and I see all the Paul Newman stuff. It's like, oh my God, this is gonna be a fun conversation.
Well, I'll take you on a tour, but first I'll give you a plug. The new album, Eldora, out as we speak. And then, of course, you want the certified gold, man, Lambs and Lions as well. Any place I should send people? Instagram?
Yeah, I do my Instagram. TikTok has stuff, but so I'm an independent artist now. I don't have a record deal. I left my deal 2 years ago. Mm-hmm. Music industry is, I'm sure you get a lot of it here too, but it's like they give you the loan. They give you $1 million for to record an album, to promote the album, and then as soon as they got to make their $1 million back first before you make a dime, and then after that you're making like 20% maybe of your income off your streaming, and streaming makes big money these days. So if you don't have radio and all that stuff, you don't need a label. So I left them 2 years ago. So I need all the help I can get with anybody here. So thanks for having me on the show.
My pleasure. Come back, man. Yeah. Bring some more stories and some more pictures. You can go to AdamCarolla.com for all the live shows. I'm going to be in Vegas coming up on the 2nd, the 3rd, and 4th of October doing Kimmel's Club over there. You just go to AdamCarolla.com for all the live shows. Until next time, it's time for Chad, Chase, and Alicia KRAUSS saying mahalo.